Now you think Walcha would just be the gateway to some amazing roads and some farming, but there's a great little artist shop, I guess. It's called the Antipodean Tinker, and this shop in the main street of Walcha is the home of Mark Walker, and what he does, he takes other people's junk and turns it into some amazing art. And if you think steampunk, this is all in here. He's built some amazing bikes that they just look like art, but they actually run. So let's go inside and have a look.
Well, this is Big Ned, the ultimate street fighter, and Ned is a 3-litre rotary valve, and he has twin rear chain drive, and the rims are car rims that have been cut in half, and then we have leather covered over the spokes, and the fire extinguisher used for the exhaust. And Ned was inspired by a visit that Mark had to a gallery in Canberra to see Sidney Nolan's versions of Ned Kelly, the square heads. That's why Ned actually has square heads. This is the first bike that Mark has built in the 4 bikes that you see here, and prior to building Ned, he built in 1970s a top fuel drag bike, the whole bike and the whole engine, and Mark kept that bike on the track for 30 years and changing it over that time, developing it, and also changing with the ruling during that period. And so at the end of that time, he decided to that he'd had enough. He didn't need to do it anymore, and so he wanted to start building work for himself. And so that's where he started with Ned. And the MW Special, which was that top fuel drag bike, is out at Mount Panorama now on display in the museum. The Abyss Rider is the latest bike that Mark's built, and it's a 200cc straight 8 rotary valve, Dunstan type rotary. And the inspiration for this build was a scooter that Mark actually put together from a basket case and uses as his roadie, but he doesn't leave the 50k zone. And so he decided that he would build his own scooter. And this bike is called the Abyss Rider, the final ride, and it's for Mark's final ride into the abyss. And it's a very much a steampunk bike. There's a lot of black chrome and copper, and lots of found object. We did have this bike running in winter last year, and this is the tiniest bike that Mark's built. Smallest pistons, sounds awesome, really a grumbly little motor. The Solster is a 1000cc rotary valve, and it is a boltless construction. The heads screw into the barrel. This bike was inspired by board track racing in the 1920s, and particularly inspired by Alessandro Enzani's designs on the board track. And he's also using Mitsubishi magnetos on this bike that came from a previous, actually off the V-twin, I think at one stage. The block of aluminium that Mark used on this bike, it was actually on a scrap pile. A guy had drilled all the holes in the wrong places, and so Mark not only created his own engine but has created it around holes that were drilled in the wrong places. You can see actually some of the these marks here are actually, and also why he did twin rotors was another reason that because of this block. This one he calls the 1916 because Mark is really interested in that era. He really feels, that's the era that most feels good to him. And it also is a V16. He's created over 12 months the crank for this bike, and then he built a prototype, and we also had a wooden model built of a V16, and to work out, how he was going to go about it. From building the prototype, he's decided then to, instead of machining 16 heads, which he'd still be doing. He's remachined flywheel, conrod, barrel, head and piston from Victor 160s because this is a found object bike. And he also has used a Suzuki clutch, Rover bevel gears. There's lots of plumbing fittings on here. He's used a shower head for the air intake and fire extinguisher fuel tank. So this is a supercharged two-stroke. So very much, we didn't really realise it at the time, but apparently it's in the steampunk world. So I think we were there all along, but very beautiful.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a like. Please also subscribe so you can keep in touch with Cycle Talk and all of our great content from digital magazines, print magazines, and lots of motorcycling videos from bike tests, touring trips, roads to ride, and lots more. Thanks for watching.